Hello everyone and welcome back to My Life's Toil with me, Neil. And nice little bit of a surprise today. I have a new toy. Now this is something that I've been thinking about for a little while, and it sort of solves a few problems for me really. And it's an exercise bike, as you can see, which may hopefully not become a clothes area. So I have been toying with this for a few weeks, and as you know, I've been using the weights, the dumbbells that I brought that I keep in my little plastic chest here on the deck. But then it's good that we're doing the weight training, but the other thing that I've been missing a little bit recently is the cardio side of thing, which is equally as important really, also for burning those calories and just being a bit fitter. So I've been looking around and I've been looking at a few different places for these bikes. I've been talking to a few people, and I haven't been really into cycling. As a kid, I used to cycle a lot, and once I stopped, once I passed my driving test, that went out the window, and that's where the weight problems pretty much started with me back in the day. Um, but I got that. That came yesterday. Put it together last night. It's like a child with a new toy last night. It was about 8 o'clock last night, and I thought, I'm going to put it together. And I was out here putting it together. It was like blowing a gale. But I just wanted to see how it works, and I ended up doing a little bit of a cycle on it. And for the money, I'm really pleased with it. It costs literally just over £100, and I've had a good look around. I've compared lots of these. It's not one of these ones that you can have. Like, there's those ones, Peloton and things like that. It's nothing like that. But it's got quite a simple display. It takes your pulse. It gives you an idea of what calories you're burning. It's really sturdy, nice and smooth. And the other good thing that I like about it is can adjust it right up for me at 6'4". It just about works well for me on the higher settings. It does actually go higher than that as well. But it's good. And my wife had a go on it last night, and she's only 5'2". She says she's 5'3", but she's barely 5'2". Don't tell her that I know. And so we adjusted it right down, left the handlebars where they were, and she sat up and she had a go on it last night, and she's quite happy with it as well. And like I say, it's a really nice, smooth action one, and I think for the money, it's really good. And I think it's a good idea to, as well as doing the old weightlifting as we've been doing recently. A lot of people have followed suit and getting involved in that. Some have got the dumbbells and the weights. Some have got those bands. A little bit of what I want to go through in a little while to add a few more exercises in. And we'll also do the second jab of the week. I don't know if Wednesdays is the first jab or the second jab of the week, but we do two, don't we? But yeah, so if you're interested, I'll put the link for that just so you can have a look at it, and if it's something that you want to do. And I know we mentioned that we get things like this in our lifetimes, don't we? I've never had an exercise bike at home, but I think if I keep it out, I've bought a cover to keep it outside, although it will be kept under the actual roof bit of the garden. But I'm hoping I can keep this going for a little while. So that's my new toy. So that's the nice surprise that I've got today. What else have I been up to this week? Well, let's start with today. I've been doing really well on the jabs. I've been feeling good. I've been keeping well within my calories. But today was a little bit different. My wife had a hospital appointment. I've been with her, obviously, to get that sorted. And just to cheer ourselves up, we stopped off at one of the local sort of Ember inns to us. And I ended up having an all-day breakfast, which is really unusual for me at the moment. And it was a heck of a load of calories, which I have traced on my NutriCheck app today. It was about, worked it out, it's about 1400 calories. Now, bearing in mind that I'm only allowing myself 1800 calories a day, that's a massive chunk of the day for me. But I don't think it's going to ruin the day because, one, I couldn't eat it all. So I don't think I quite had the 1400 calories, whatever it was. I had a cup of coffee with it. I've been drinking fluids. But I'll easily manage. I'll have something later on. I'll probably have to force myself again because that's another thing that's been happening over the last few days is forgetting to eat a little bit. Those food cravings have really diminished this week with me. So whether it's building up in the system a little bit, we're getting to the end of the month, and that's what the charts were sort of telling me that I would be up there probably at about this time. So that's a good thing. But I haven't been having any particular side effects. Mild constipation that I'm managing. I've had no nausea, I've certainly had no vomiting, no headaches, a little bit tired, but usually after a work day when I've just been absolutely inundated and using my what little bit of a brain I've got. Now, we've been talking about creatine for people that train, and we've been talking about collagen and things like that. So after doing a little bit of reading up on it, nothing significant, but I thought I'd give it a little go. And I've come up with a company that I've used before for those protein bars in the past, and that's Warrior. No affiliation whatsoever. This is a creatine and collagen in one. Just you can mix it even with water, and this is berry flavour, and you can get a plain version. And if you didn't like it's sort of quite a sweet taste. It's 0 calories, but if you wanted the plain one, maybe you could mix it into. You could do it with milk, or you could do it with water. But you could, if you wanted to, mix it with the SUPRIVA, which is really good, which I'm still using a lot, and I'm getting down it. I've been using the chocolate one a lot, but I tend to have it more in the like plain yogurts, the low-fat yogurts, and that's what I tend to use that for. But it made me think, because I nearly ordered the plain one, but I thought I'd give the flavoured one a go, because I knew I could mix that SUPRIVA into it and change it up a little bit, because I've got 3 different flavours, haven't I, with the SUPRIVA, so that's a good idea. And again, I've still got the code. If people want to try the flavour powder from SUPRIVA, it's really nice. Like I say, when I have oats, usually on the weekend, I'll put a scoop of whichever flavour, and you can get, with the SUPRIVA flavours, you can get the butter biscuit, which is the first one I had, which is pretty much gone now, because that is really nice. The chocolate and the vanilla. The vanilla's nice as well, and chocolate's chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? Sometimes I just have a milkshake out of it. So if you're interested in that, a lot of people have been asking for the details on that, and it is on some of the videos, but I'll put it on again today for you if you want to try that. But yeah, so there's a choice there if you wanted to go for this. We don't all need these supplements, but people are suggesting going for the creatine. It's not going to do me any harm. And the collagen, I have noticed that I have got quite dry skin, so I think it is worth. That's what I was looking for, really, a collagen to give it a go, to see if it helps. And my nails have been going really brittle. Never had anything like that in my life, so I think it's now's the time. Not had, touch wood, any hair problems, no hair loss. And someone mentioned last week, they were asking about the hair loss, weren't they? And if you're having hair loss that's attributed to one of the side effects with Mounjaro, the thought process behind that is that it will only be for a certain amount of time. Yeah, someone mentioned that since they've been on Mounjaro, they've had an issue with, for the duration actually, of their hair thinning a little bit, and noticing that. So some people get side effects of all different types, some more than others. Some will only last for a short time, and it seems that some go on for a little bit longer too. So I will give this a little go. I'm not really on a lot else. I am just trying to eat a varied diet, really, of a bit of everything, so I get my goodness out of all the bits and bobs that I need to. But creatine and collagen, let's see if it makes a difference, because it's not a bad idea. But like I said in the last video, don't feel that you need to go out and get everything. Like I say, this journey that we're on, and especially if you're on the Mounjaro or any of the weight loss injections, not just in the UK, but around the world, they're costing an absolute fortune. And when I spoke to Laurie, that did this interview, and that's on her channel, GLP-1, A Journey in Review, that's out now, she was telling me that how much it's thousands in the US. And if you're paying for that yourself, that's a heck of a lot of money. And being hundreds over here is extortionate as well, isn't it? Now, only this week, as you may have seen in the news, the Mounjaro is now being opened up to general practice, and you will see doctors prescribing it at GP level in primary care. And don't expect to be able to go out and just go and see a doctor and get it, because it's not necessarily going to happen. Now, it will for some, but what the sort of initial thoughts are with people getting Mounjaro, it's going to be people on the extreme levels at the moment, people that are one where they're very obese and at risk of disease and ongoing cardiovascular events and those type of things that will be seen first. So just don't expect to just go out and expect, like we've discussed before, that you're going to get something straight away. But doesn't stop us trying, does it? So if you think that you meet the criteria, always ask the questions. Don't let it put you off. There's still the problem with a lot of the GPs not knowing exactly what Mounjaro is about. So that will change now as it comes more into primary care and being prescribed at this level. You'll see more people getting it. So it's always worth asking the question. So since the last injection, which was Sunday, it is now Wednesday. So I will be doing the next jab, 2.5 milligrams. It's not been a bad week. There was a nice weight loss on Sunday that I reported as well. I am preparing to go away on Saturday. But I still want to try, and don't hold me to this, and put something out on Saturday if I can, even if that's when I arrive on my holiday, because I will be taking the pen with me. I'm not having a break. I will keep the plan going because one, I want to document sort of, and we'll do a little vlog of while I'm away on holiday, how things are going. I want to enjoy the holiday. I want to not feel tied down to the diet or the journey or whatever we want to call it. But I think that this is my lifestyle now. And if I'm taking this medication to try and get my lifestyle in a reasonable place health-wise, then I think that that includes holidays. You might not think the same. You might want to break from it, and that's fine too, because as we always say, we're all different, aren't we? So I'm going to show you, I mentioned this about the bands. Now, my son brought me some new bands, which are really good ones for Father's Day, which I put a little short video on, didn't I? So, but I mentioned again last week when I was doing some of the exercises with the bent over rows with the dumbbells that it wasn't that comfortable for me. And the bands are really good for this. So let's show you this, how that works now. So basically what this one involves is a nice sturdy post, and I've got the bench fairly close to that post, and I've got my chosen band with the handles on, and then using this post here, I basically bring that round there, get a good decent away, so just so you're just starting to get some tension on here. And then you get, I'm going to come back a little bit more, just as you're feeling the tension there. And then I'm going to do seated rows like so. Like this. And you get a really nice smooth tension with those bands. Just like that there. Like so. And I've just been doing sort of 3 sets of between 15 and 20. I'm trying not to use the muscles in the arm, but I'm using the muscles in the back and under the arms here. And that is a really comfortable, but after a little while it does give you that nice burn. So give that a go. Make sure you've got something sturdy. You can do this on a bench or a chair. And then we have the bike, which, as I say, I'm really chuffed with. It's quite a comfortable saddle on it. Now, some of the reviews said the saddle was really uncomfortable, and I think they might have upgraded that recently because this feels nice and spongy. As soon as you start cycling, this monitor starts. And if you have it on scan, you've got like a little yellow button here, and you can go through all the different bits and bobs on here. And if you just leave it, it turns itself off. So you've got pulse, it takes your pulse for you if you put your hands on the little sensors here and here. It tells you, I'm assuming it's only roughly what sort of calories you're burning in that time, the speed that you're doing, the distance that you've traveled in kilometers. I think you can change that to miles. And then you've got this red button here, And if you turn it right down anti-clockwise, it makes it really easy to do. And the more you wind it up, the tougher it gets. And that's on a nice strength, that is now. And it really is smooth. You've even got adjustable feet on the deck here, and I think this was an absolute steal for the money. And then you can adjust quite a few things to do with the seat and things as well. So you can actually set it forward and back to suit as well. So my wife would have it sort of right forward like so. And let me turn it the right way, and then that tightens up. And then we have this bit to adjust the height as well. And then you can pull that out and then have it right set low. And you can do the same with the handlebars here as well. And the other good thing is, put your phone or your iPad on the front so if you want to listen to some music or FaceTime somebody or whatever you want to do with your phone or your iPad, you've got that as well. So I've come back indoors now because it is quite warm out there today. It wasn't supposed to be this warm, but I'm never going to complain about the heat. And this is the new pen, the new 5mg pen. I did briefly show it last week, but thought it'd be a good idea to go through it all again, because I'm going to show you what I do with the counting the clicks so I can do the split dosing, and also, just for people that may be new to the channel, show you exactly how we set things up and just basically try and alleviate some of the fears around injecting the Mounjaro or any weight loss injection jabs with the quick pen. Now, I know not everyone has the quick pen, but hopefully this will help. And even if you're not using the quick pen as such, still give you a good feel for how easy this can be. So making sure that you're clean, your hands are washed like mine are. I've got a new pack of the needles with some new wipes as well. And we'll just go through everything that we do as usual. And I'm also going to show you what a lot of people suggested to me, which I have done since I've been split dosing. And that's so you don't have to keep counting the clicks. If you don't want to, you can simply just put a mark on where 30 clicks is. Now 30 clicks, excuse me, will be a half dose of these. No matter what pen you've got, no matter what strength, 30 clicks will always be a half dose. And if you have a full dose, you literally, that will be turned all the way. But there's some things that we need to do before we get that there. So you can turn that as many times as you like. As long as you're not administering and pressing the plunger, it won't make a difference. But just only turn it when you need to. I don't think it will break, but just be careful with it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to inspect the pen. Make sure, like I have said numerous times, that this is prescribed to you and it's the size dose that you're expecting. As you know, I've been staying on the 5mg for a good couple of months now, and I have started to split my doses. So I'm still taking 5mg a week, but I'm doing 2 split doses of 2.5mg, which is 30 clicks, like I say. What we do then is we open this up. We've got our sharps box at the ready on the table in front of me, and we're going to just get ready. We're going to make sure everything's as it should be. This is a nice new needle that's sealed. This is back to the, now, you know, if you watched last week when I did the golden dose, I used an insulin needle which already had a longer needle on. It's still a subcutaneous needle that goes into the subcutaneous fat, whether we do it in our thigh or our tummy. Ideally, if someone's doing it in the back of the arm for you, someone else should really do it, because you're overreaching. And I've heard that people are having problems with that. If it works for you, that's fine. Ignore that comment. But yeah, just make sure this is all okay. It's still, without my glasses on, I think it's a 4mm one that I always tend to get. Some people get 5mm, some people get 6. And yes, this is a 0.23 by 4mm. So as I say, less than half a centimetre of this will go into your skin and you hardly feel it. You might feel like a tiny little pinch, but nothing worse than that. If you use the pen straight out the fridge, that can tingle a little bit, but it's only because it's cold. And then again, if you have air bubbles in there, microscopic air bubbles are not going to cause you any harm. You need so much air to go into a vein in particular to cause significant harm. The worst that you'll get from a few bubbles is it can be a little bit sore. But let's inspect the pen, making sure that there's no breakage, there's no debris in there. This should be a nice clear liquid. Sometimes there may be a slight tinge to it. The guidelines from Eli Lilly say there may be a yellowing to it, but it should still be okay. Now, I did have a comment a few weeks ago from someone in America, and I think this is the compounded stuff that they can buy in America, where it's made by pharmacists and made up. And to avoid certain legalities, it's mixed with other things. And I'd heard that someone had a red tirzepatide, and this will be interesting to get to the bottom of, because I don't know officially exactly what's going on with that, but apparently sometimes it can be mixed with B12 to get around certain licensing things to be able to supply it. I'm not really too genned up on this, so that'd be an interesting one if anyone knows anything about this. But anyway, let's get on with the job, because if you know me by now, you tend to know I go off on tangents occasionally and then sometimes miss the whole point of what I was trying to get to. But I'm not going to do that today because I want this to go nice and smoothly for you. Brand new wipe out the packet, and you're going to clean the end of the pen where there's a little rubber seal here. Now this is, as I say, a brand new pen. Haven't used this one before. Touch wood, I've not had a problem with any of the pens yet. So I'm hoping that stays about the same today, to be honest with you. So that's that. We can now get the needle on. So I'm going to open up the needle first time. That bit goes in the bin. As I say, be careful, because just inside there, that's also the other end of the needle. And we want to pop that on nice and straight, so there's no chance of us bending it. Like I've always said before, just turn it tightly enough that it makes a good seal, so the liquid's not going to seep out when we administer it. That top guard, that sheath there, keeps to one side because we're going to use that to dispose of the needle. That one there can go straight in a jug that's going to go in the bin in a minute. And there's the needle. So if you can see that, which hopefully you can, that is literally, like I've always said before, and hopefully I'm putting lots of minds at rest, it's a tiny, thin, I can hardly see it without my glasses on, needle, and there's already a little bead of the liquid appearing there just because I've put it on and we broke the seal and it's trying to find it out. So I know that needle should work, but we're still going to prime the needle because that's important, because I can't actually see any air whatsoever in there, I don't think. Bear in mind I haven't got my glasses on again. But just to make sure, we're on 0 at the moment. We're going to give it 2 clicks to that longer line that you can see in the window just there. That is the prime position. The pen is then turned upright like this. So if there is any air, it should rise to the top. We can give it a little tap to make sure that any air that is in there goes to the top. And then we're going to just squeeze that, and hopefully we should see another bead of liquid, which there's a tiny bead there. And we know now that that's prime because there's liquid in the needle. We know that it's patent and that it works and that it's open, it's not blocked up. We can then, if you're doing this for the first time and you're going to give yourself 1 dose, it's all the way up to number 1. And then that's ready. And then I'll show you how we do the dose in a second. But for me, I'm going to go all the way back, and then I'm going to count to 30 because I want a half dose, because I'm split dosing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There we go. And I have a pen ready, and I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm blind as a bat without them for close-up stuff like this. And I'm going to put a mark on my 30th click, just there, like that. You might want to mark a pen, but it does work after a little while if you make sure you got a pen that works. There we go. And then that's it. And you might be able to see that I just put a biro mark, so I don't have to keep counting it. It doesn't take long to count, but it saves you that few moments, doesn't it? But let's do this. I'm going to stay in here and do this now. So let's get the camera adjusted and you can see me injecting into the tummy again. Right, so here we go. I've got the pen ready. Now I'm going to do this nice and smoothly so you can see, and I'm going to just expose my tummy, and I'm going to come into the left hand side, and I'm going to left lower, 2 inches away from the belly button. Nice bit of fatty skin, and I always just hold on. I just find it, and we're going to keep this really nice and straight as we go in, because again, and I've mentioned this before, some people have sort of gone in and bent the needle. So if you go in and then come out at an angle, or if you go in slightly skewiff, now these needles shouldn't really bend. I mean, it's tiny, that needle is, but I've heard that people are. So just to alleviate that, go in straight, come out straight, exactly the same with no differences. I'm just going to bring the camera around here so you can see it from side on. So here we go. I'm going to hold this bit of tummy here, and I'm going to come in. I'm just going to shake that bead off there, and I'm going to come in nice and straight into the tummy, and I'm literally going to give myself 2.5 milligrams of tirzepatide. Sometimes that plunger can be a little bit tough. Count to about 5 seconds, and then we're coming straight back out again, making sure that tiny little bit. Sometimes you'll get a tiny little bead of the tirzepatide. No blood. That's all done. So you're back up here with me now. This then goes back on as it always does. A couple of turns should bring that off. That then goes in the sharp spin. This goes away back in the box and then in the fridge. And I will be taking this on holiday with me on Saturday, when my next jab, well, Saturday or Sunday, I do my jabs, my next jab of the week. So I'm going to be taking it with me. I've only got a little, I'm going to one of these caravan parks down in Breen for a week to take my son for a nice little break, and my wife. But as I say, I'm staying on plan. So this is going to come with me. I'm going to inject as normal on Saturday. Might do it before I go, but even so, I will still be jabbing on Wednesday. So it will be with me. I'll put it in a cooler pack, and then when I get there, straight in the fridge. In the caravan that we've got would definitely have a fridge, and so it should be fine. And I'm going to try and keep you updated while I'm away, because I think that's important, really, because I know there's lots of people that have gone abroad with their pens, and usually the guidance is just to get through the gate and things. Just have your prescription with you. Just have some details of where you get your Mounjaro from, just to cover you. Have it in a cooler bag. You can get these prescription bags that don't have to be expensive from, of all places, Amazon, and keep it out of direct sunlight. Make sure it's on in the fridge, or in a fridge when you get to your destination, and you should be absolutely fine. So that's this week done. I'm starting to feel a bit of holiday mode, although I've got 2 days of work left to go, which I wished I'd booked off, but never mind. So I will try and keep up with you. I don't know when I'm going to put something out next. I'm glad I've had a little catch up with how I'm getting on, because I'm going to go out and do, the sun's back out again now, a bit of a workout this afternoon. So I'm going to do 20 minutes on the bike, although I did 20 minutes last night when I put it together, because it's just nice, and it's like a brand new toy at the moment. So I want to keep this going. So you lot out there are going to keep me going, aren't you, with these exercises and things? And hopefully I'll do the same for you. I'll put some links on it. Anyone wants to have a look at them. The same with that creatine powder. I've had lots of really good feedback about the collagens and things like creatine that people are using. It's not necessarily that we need to be taking this stuff, but the collagen more so for me. I've mentioned my skin has been drying out a little bit recently, and if you're losing weight to such an extent that you're noticing loose skin, one of the things that's been recommended is collagen. And people have been mentioning the creatine with people when trying to reduce the muscle loss when they're dieting as well. So the training's important, resistance training that we've been doing, and creatine helps with keeping that muscle as well. So that'd be something I can go into a little bit more detail later on when we've got a little bit more time. But that's it for today. Keep the comments coming. It's great to speak to everyone. I think I'm getting around most of them again. I will try and put something out for the weekend, even though I'll be sort of on the road. But yeah, and next time you see me, I'll probably be in Breen, but I'll definitely put something out for everyone. Speak to you all soon, and have a great week.